Okay, so good morning to you all. Today we are going to discuss global supply chain. That is the topic of Unit 3 in Supply Chain and Logistics Management. And this program is designed for MBA students or maybe any management students uh, that is interested to learn something about supply chain and logistics management. So the topic is global supply chain. I'm Dr. Ritesh Singhal, your instructor. I'll be take you towards the issues related to global supply chain in the coming slides. So uh, we talk several aspects of local supply chain or supply chain, but when we talk about global supply chain, these are the network that can span across multiple continents, multiple countries for the purpose of sourcing and supplying goods and services from one place to from one continent to another continents. So if we are linking uh, our supply chain, obviously this is a chain and chain has to be managed, and some part of the chain is located in one country, some part of the chain located in another country, and so on and so forth. So different links of the chain is situated somewhere in different continent and different countries. So in that case, it's going to be very complex because every country, every continent is having some or other different kind of issues, different kind of laws, different kind of priorities. So to manage or to integrate that kind of supply chain is become a tedious task. So let us discuss the issues related to global supply chain. See this particular image where you can see this is the image of Boeing aircraft, and this is just to show how this aircraft is being assembled, and the product uh, uh, manufactured is and here the products are manufactured in different countries. The wings, you can see number one, part and country. So this particular small piece is made up somewhere in, this is called wingtip, made up somewhere in Korea. Fixed movable leading edge, fixed somewhere in United States, then Japan, Italy, and United States, Sweden, Canada, Japan, France, Italy, US, Canada, Australia. So there are a number of countries, number of continents are involved, because every country, because everything cannot be made by Boeing itself. So Boeing is actually collecting different parts of this particular plane from different other countries situated in different other continent, and they actually assembling it at one place. So this is the power of a particular uh, global supply chain. Engine is by Rolls-Royce UK or General Electric US, or lithium-ion batteries produced somewhere else. Passenger entry doors are made by a company in France. So see, this is just an example to show you how this particular global supply chain is important for manufacturing a single aircraft by Boeing. So Boeing is actually making is Boeing actually producing this kind of aircraft, but it's not only Boeing. There are thousands number of companies that is situated in hundreds of countries. Those who are contributing to manufacture this particular aircraft. So how you manage this timeline, how you order your product to them, how you take it the delivery, how you manage this kind of time differences, currency issues, language issues. So there are a number of problems arises while we're dealing with global supply chain, especially. This is the best example to show you how a single important or sensitive product like aircraft is being manufactured with the help of different other countries in the world. So because why we need to have globalization, why we need to have global supply chain, because global market forces, technological forces, you are not very good in technology, somebody else situated somewhere in the country are is good, it's good for in good making technologies or producing technologies. So global cost forces, political and economic forces, because these forces are driving the globalization. So global market forces, when we talk about uh, foreign competition in local market, growth in foreign demand, domestic consumption is going to be less than 30% in the world. Foreign sales fuel growth, fuel the price of fuel is going to increase day by day, and global presence of defensive tool. Uh, there are number of examples like Nestle and Kellogg's presence in state of the art market. Like Japanese is famous for consumer electronics, Germany is famous for machine tools, US is famous for sports utility vehicle, and so on and so forth. So these countries or these companies of these countries are having some kind of specialization. That is why the companies used to order and or identify this particular term global market. So there are technological forces, diffusion of knowledge. You may have one set of knowledge, somebody's have another set of knowledge. Uh, so many high-tech companies involved developed overseas need close relationship with foreign suppliers. For example, like Boeing, just we just discussed, has millions of suppliers and situated in hundreds of countries. Technology sharing and collaborations, access to technology and market, uh, global location and R&D facilities. So location, company situated somewhere else and R&D is doing some in some other countries, like close to production, close to expertise. Indian programmers sitting in India and making program for US companies. Global cost forces like low cost labor and some other priorities are also involved: labor, capital incentive, tax, price breaks, cost sharing. So there are a number of factors involved. There are a number of factor involved in global forces like global market, global cost, global technology, and political and economic forces, exchange rate fluctuation, operating flexibility, regional trade between bilateral agreement or trilateral agreement between the countries. So value of being in a country in one of these reason, implications of supply network design, reevaluation of foreign facilities. So these are political and economic factors that directly or indirectly affect the global supply chain. There are a few more like trade protection mechanisms, intellectual property rights, uh, and health environmental regulations, local content requirement, voluntary exports, government procurement. All these are political and economic factors that directly or indirectly hits the global supply chain. So this is the chart. This is a particular map of the world where you can see some some continent is very good in marketing, some continent is very good in operations, production of engineering goods, human resource, and in between information technology is there that used to connect all these functions together. So in case of global supply chain, it is a kind of integrated principle where you need to collaborate, where you need to communicate with the suppliers, vendor, and all stakeholders of the supply chain. So global supply chain system having different components like international distribution system, domestically or overseas. You are manufacturing domestically and distributed overseas. International suppliers, foreign suppliers, offshore manufacturing. Some of the product is not manufactured in your home country. Maybe it is somewhere else. Fully integrated global supply chain. Products are supplied, manufactured, and distributed from factories located throughout the world. Located throughout the world. So, in a truly global supply chain, it may appear that supply chain was designed without regard to national boundaries. So, if we talk about global supply chain, for global supply chain, there is no national boundaries. You are sitting, headquarters is somewhere else, manufacturing unit somewhere else, warehouse somewhere else, market is situated in different country. So, all these are all these functions of a particular supply chain is uh, located into different other parts of the world. That is the true sense of global supply chain. So, what are the factors of global supply chain? Number one, cost, local labor rates, international freight currency exchange rate. These are very important factors related to cost, because since they people are talking about that India is a country where the labor is very cheap. So that is why most of the country in the world are trying to focus on India with regard to labor, custom duty, and government support, and impact of some agreements, GATT, WTO, that is again changing over time, taxes of your country, of home country, of overseas country, export regulations. Uh, in case of big consignments, export regulations, export laws are very much important, because nobody should going to deny the order, so that there is a chance of loss, great chance of loss of the company. And all the time related to operations like lead time, cycle time, in transit time, export license approval cycle, and custom clearances. All these are directly hit the global SCM factors. You are very good, you are producing very good, but the laws of that particular country is not supporting to you. So that is why all these lead time, cycle time, transit time is going to be increase or decrease or fluctuate very frequently. So offset trade and local content. So local content requirement is again there. Government purchasing is also important. Sometimes government force you that this much percent of items should be purchased locally, and rest you can purchase it from anywhere. So content for preferential duty rates. But there are these are few factors of global supply chain management. But if we talk about some advantage and disadvantage of this global supply chain, the advantage are like, the main reason for any business to exit is to increase sale and profits. कोई भी बिजनेस बाहर कब होता है, जब उसके प्रॉफिट और सेल नहीं चल रहे हो, ठीक है. When you go global, then the likelihood of increasing sales go up, and you open up new your market to consumer all over the world. Sometimes we are the market, sometimes we are the producer, somebody else is the market. So So when you go global, so obviously you need some market, you need some manufacturers. So this allow businesses to reduce dependent on the local and national economies. If you are having 10 businesses, out of them seven are operated in local and three are international. So you maybe diversify your risk in that case. So uh, you're a business to reduce dependence on local and national economies. Sometime you may have seen that Sensex of India is hardly hit by any fluctuation in United States or UK or Europe or Germany or Japan, because our economy is not entire the local economy. We have to link. We have Our business is linked to many other countries. So if any change in if any happening in those countries is there, it would directly hit our international our BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. So with the number of internet user on rise, global businesses are able to do businesses at all hours of the day with consumers from every point on the globe. So when you open your Amazon, it works 24 by 7. It's not like your local shop that is having a fixed time, that is having a fixed day to open and close. So when it is like there, when everyone is online, when everyone is having a capability to order something, to see something, so that can be there. That can be depend on your global supply chain network. So with the number of internet users, global supply chain increases day by day. The potential for expansion and business increase as they enter into more markets. So when you have big collaborations, when you have supply chain partners, so there is a great chance that you can expand your business from home country to outside the world. It usually lowers supply chain cost, reduce cycle time, and enhance speed and efficiency. if you are able to manage global supply chain, then only it can possible. Competitive advantage, untapped market. There are few countries, there are few markets rather, you are not still approaches to, but using global supply chain management, you can tap those untapped market. So these are advantages, but again, there are few disadvantages as well because global supply chain, if you want to achieve or if you want to enjoy the global supply chain, so obviously you have to uh, have different kind of you have to face different kind of disadvantages like heavy investment requires because you are operating not nationally, it is internationally. Inefficient and undersized transportation and distribution system, market instability, integrating the supply chain and choosing the correct supplier is much more difficult than one can imagine. So you cannot trust on international supplier by only by once. You have to have different kind of historical or uh, your previous past experiences actually doing something wonders. So at one point of my time, a country which is not being very much accessible to you, and finding the supplier in that country is very much difficult. Right supplier. So only not only do companies have to strongly consider price and quality, but they also have to make sure that all the organizations are willing to cooperate to benefit the group. And managerial style, objectives, and goal must have a strategic fit between all companies involved in the this particular supply chain. So these are few disadvantages also. Disadvantages like when you enter into global market, businesses need to be aware that gains and losses may not be seen in the short term. It may be many years before they start reaping the rewards of their efforts. Maybe in first year to second year, third year, fifth year, you may not have rewards. You may not have profits initially. So hire additional staff. Companies usually have to modify their product and packaging to suit local culture preferences and low language of the new market. So you have to design altogether a different kind of product, different kind of packaging, different kind of language for those different other market to tap to different other markets. For example, if a product is being is to be distributed somewhere in France, so you have to write construction in French language only. Travel expenses are also very high because you have to travel. Your administrative staff have to travel to cater the business needs. There are few challenges in establishing supply chain and uh, challenging like number one, every industry, network supplier, manufacturer, trade intermediaries, and customer have spent spread around the globe. Number one. Number two, paradigm shift has occurred in which companies that once built domestically to sell internationally now look globally. See, read it again. A paradigm shift has occurred in which companies that once built domestically to sell internationally and now look globally for raw material, services, and finished good to sell into a defined marketplace. Clear? Companies have discovered that effective supply chain management cut cost, reduce waste, prevent overproduction, and helps to ensure that customers are more satisfied with the product. These are few challenges. And there are many more challenges, political challenges, technology, cultural, finances, currency, time zones, currency fluctuations. Intellectual property protection is again a big challenge because most of the companies are afraid to come into some countries, maybe Asian countries, so that they are trying, maybe Chinese country also, where they have feared that this their product can be copied, and intellectual property protection is again an important part in that case. Identifying and ensuring the reliability of international business partner. because it is not easily available, or maybe available, but you are not reaching them. How you connect them? Accessing financing and insurance. So when you talk about finances, you talk about different financial system, different government, different tax system, different insurance policies, different insurance regulators. So this become a tedious task. Compliance with international regulation and standards. Very important, very tedious. Quality standard, import the product which is very good and acceptable in your country, that same product may not be acceptable in some other countries because of law, because of some other changes. So quality level and defects. A single defect in your consignment can lead to the rejection of the entire lot. So quality level in check is again important. Time zones, again an issue, but people managing it. Long range logistics, okay. Accountability and compliance of laws, of legal framework, of system, of the organization is important. To receive on-time product delivery is really sometimes very rare, but it has to be there. Language barrier. Global partners offer competitive pricing and efficiency, but you was talking in different language, and the other one is talking in different language, and there is no connection. There is a big cultural gap between these two partners. So these are the challenges facing while establishing the global supply chain. I hope you understand this thing. This topic, global supply chain, where we discuss how this supply chain is important, what are the challenges faced, what are the factors affecting this global supply chain also. So I thank you. It's all from my side. I hope you understand the session and you like this video, and we'll meet in another video. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.